because President Abbas has joined ISIS.
For those who are against us, there's nothing to be done. We need to pick up an axe and cut off their heads.
אני אומר בקול ברור, לא אמסור שטח של ארץ ישראל לערבים. אנחנו צריכים להפסיק להתנצל לפני העולם.
And they would have an influx of refugees coming in from the entire Arab world. We cannot accept that. There's 6 million great-grandchildren of refugees from 48.
You mentioned Mahmoud Abbas. Look, Mahmoud Abbas pays a monthly salary to the family of every murderer.
You said this.
Mahmoud Abbas has parades arraigned the shaheeds, those who murder others.
But I'm saying to you, there's a rich history of incitement from the right wing here in Israel, isn't there? The Prime Minister himself hasn't shied away from it. He was forced to apologize after tweeting on election day that the Arabs are coming out in droves to vote.
This is the Minister for Justice. Palestinians are all enemy combatants. This also includes the mothers of the martyrs. They should follow their sons. Nothing would be more just. They should go, as should the physical homes in which they raised the snakes. Otherwise, more little snakes will be raised there.
What does your party propose for the 2.5 million Palestinians living there?
But in general, in area A and B, we said that they should keep and have autonomy like they have today. And I don't know, maybe sometimes in the future it will be a part of confederation with Jordan.
Your Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, claims to believe in a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Do you believe in a two-state solution?
I don't think it's a valid solution right now.
לא הייתה מעולם מדינה פלסטינית, מעולם לא הייתה.
How can you criticize Ban Ki-moon for saying what he said when a whole host of current and former Israeli security chiefs, Israeli intelligence officials, they've all said similar things? Your Shin Bet domestic security agency said last November that Palestinians are carrying out attacks to, quote, escape from a bleak reality which they perceive as unchangeable. The head of Israeli military intelligence told you and your cabinet colleagues last November that Palestinians have carried out attacks because they, quote, felt they had nothing to lose. Are they apologists of terrorism as well? You're a politician, you're avoiding a very simple question. Is the head of Israeli military intelligence wrong?
Ask that 10 times again, and I'm going to answer you again. I'm representing the policy of my Prime Minister.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, CP Hotley, this is the last one. My position is that between the sea and the Jordan River, there needs to be one state only, the State of Israel. There is no place for any agreement of any kind that discusses the concession of Israeli sovereignty over lands conquered in 1967. This is the Defense Minister, Moshe Yaalon, talking just a couple of weeks ago. Israel is going to hurt Lebanese civilians, to include kids of the family. We went through a very long discussion. We did it then, we did it in the Gaza Strip. We are going to do it in any round of hostilities in the future. That's the Defense Minister.
The minister was quoted by Yedioth Aharonoth as saying U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, quote, should take his noble and leave us alone. Actually, the quote right here. Abu Mazen lives and dies by our sword. Yaalon is quoted as saying, once we leave Judea and Samaria, he is finished. In effect, during these past months, there have been negotiations with the Palestinians, not with the Palestinians rather, but with the Americans.
Now, these are the official statements of several ministers of the current government of Israel. in one case actually advocating genocide of all Palestinians, including children, and calling them snakes. Now, can I ask you, Taoiseach, do you not think that if we're defining terrorism, that is the language and thinking of terrorists, that it is absolutely unacceptable in civilized politics, in civilized international relations, for the heads of government of a state that we carry on normal relations with and who you met in Paris to advocate those sort of views when we know they have also led on to the deaths of thousands of Palestinians, innocent men, women and children? What have you to say, Taoiseach, about those sort of views being expressed by the Israeli government?
Netanyahu is a master of incitement.